Okay. Good morning, everyone. Tradingology.com trading room for September 14th. Bright and early on a Monday morning. Good to see you guys. Hanging around. Got the speakers ready to go.
Good morning, everybody.
Hey, good morning, Dave. Good to see you.
You too. You had a nice weekend?
Yes, it was very good.
Cool.
It's rocket morning.
Yes.
Tom's in the house. Good to see you, Tom.
Tom B. Always a pleasure.
I find a really interesting phenomenon occurring on the UDD Valdi or up-down volume right now. Don't let me forget about that.
Oh, yeah? Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, definitely.
It's interesting. Just this morning I'm seeing it. An announcement in case you guys didn't see it in the Slack channel that are in there. Expiration week. Watch your contracts. I thought I was seeing some lag for a minute, but it was the difference between one broker and another showing U versus Z contracts. So rolling over to the Z's this week.
Yep. Don't forget, actually, last Thursday was rollover day, and the near month contract is still trading, and it's pretty liquid. But once we get out to like Wednesday or Thursday, it's going to get real thin.
Yeah, it's one of those you start looking at a chart. It's like, oh, that's off by 10 points. Why is that lagging? It's like, oh, wait, it's not lagging.
Yeah, it's a different contract.
I caught myself this morning, so I had to correct myself.
Yeah. Yeah, UV and D-vol is pretty weird, huh?
Yeah, so here's normal, right? We start out the morning and it tracks one way or the other. At least we can see bars. Look
Right.
at today.
I mean, we are flatlined.
Today I literally have to zoom in like a microscope.
Holy cow.
To see this. And it is slowly going up, but it's less than 1,000 right now.
That's very odd.
I don't think I've seen that before. And we were seeing some separation, which closed up a little bit, but there is still separation between them over here. I find that pretty interesting.
Yeah.
That's like that right now.
That is pretty interesting. I wonder how I wonder if we did a quick update on the spreadsheet to see what kind of
Funny you mentioned that.
down volume we're doing here.
I did pull the latest in about 3 minutes ago. I updated, let me squeeze this so you can see it.
We got some bullish herding at least, but yeah.
Yeah, first one filled out and we dropped by almost 10% on the MT vol, and PA is at 138.
Yeah, I can't quite tell from that yet because it's
early.
If I remember correctly, the price anomaly does use volume in the formula. I'm getting fuzzy on that, but the buy sell signal is going up a little bit. We got a up on the swing signal, so
yeah, a little reversal there. So this could be peaking at a -7 here.
Yeah.
We'll see.
You see how the bearish herding is just real spotty, just never really filled in. That'll give you a pretty good clue. Also, look at the 9th, 10th, and 11th. We had average volume per share way under that 1,500 mark.
So that was one comment that I made was if you're in some longs, you were coming up to some resistance areas here. It's a good idea to take some profits. It looks like it's starting to turn now. We'll see what happens.
Are we going to do a little PSA today?
We could. What do we have on our mind?
Our friend's problem with Tesla.
Oh, yeah. We could probably.
At least we could share that video.
Yes. Let me get that link while you start that topic.
So here's an interesting thing that happened recently, guys, with Tesla stock. And we know someone who was affected by this. They had a dollar-wide credit spread on Tesla, I believe at the 409, 410. So They sold a credit spread, and it was a put credit spread at the 409, 410 level. Well, Tesla, in fact, if you bring up a chart of Tesla, let's take a look and highlight the overnight session. I didn't look at it when I responded to him, and but this the video that you can put in the chat there if you haven't already. No.
It was in the chat.
Okay, this is kind of weird. It's an extremely rare occurrence, but it is a risk that can happen, and it did happen just recently. Is that Tesla is settled at about 418. So, and he had the credit spread that was a 409, 410 credit spread. So he thought at the close of business with Tesla at 418 that he would not get assigned on a short put position. Well, I think it was on the 4th. I think I said it was September 4th. Probably a big drop back there, right there, yeah.
Yeah, there we go. It was this one.
Yeah, so Tesla stock closed at 418, and it was on a Friday. And so, but there's still an after-hour session. So what happened is the long put that he had expired, out of the money, closed, done. Well, when I responded, I said, well, you know, if you buy a put, you can exercise that put anytime you want, even if it is out of the money. Well, I didn't look at the chart, and look what happened to Tesla stock after the close. In the after-hour session, it went from about 418 down to what?
390, 387.
390, yeah. And so there was the owner of the put option has, I believe, about an hour and a half after the close of the market to exercise that put. But evidently, whoever bought those puts saw that the market, the Tesla stock had tanked really after the close of the market. And with about 14 minutes left before they cut off the exercise ability, exercise those options. There was only 5 of them in this video. But 5 times 100 times 409, which was, or 410, which was the short option. It was, you know, it's like $253,000. So he ended up getting he didn't find out until Saturday morning that the option had been exercised. And by that time, the stock, when it opened up again on Tuesday, was where? It opened where?
360.
At around 360. Well, no, is that the open? I can't tell.
This is the market open itself.
Okay, so the open was 360, yeah.
I give it a half hour to get precise.
Yeah, he's down some significant money, and he ended up with a margin call for $30,000 on a little 5-lot, $1 credit spread on Tesla because of this happening. So just a little PSA, a little warning here that if you're short an option going into expiration, the best thing to do is to close it out on the day of expiration. Now our friend did try to close it out several times. He tried to close out the position. Why it never got executed is really kind of an odd thing to me. And he really definitely should look into that because he did try to close it out several times. But this is something that can happen in after hours, especially on a Friday night. If they get some news and the stock tanks and you go in the money all of a sudden, that option can be exercised. Now, it can even be exercised if it's out of the money. Just remember that there's randomness to the exercise, but if you're short a put going into an overnight session, especially on a long weekend like we had there, Labor Day weekend, then you have some real liability. It's always best to close out those short positions before a weekend.
Yeah, the key there is know the rules of options trading. I think hardly anybody, even I wouldn't remember that you can exercise an option after the market closes, like an hour and a half, hour and 15 minutes. So that's why it's always best to sell those for half a penny, a nickel, a quarter, whatever it is. Don't worry about that last itty bit of profit.
Absolutely.
Just close it out and keep yourself safe no matter what. It's not worth the risk.
Yeah. So it's a kind of a, I think it's kind of an anomaly, but at the same time, hey, it could happen. So.
Yep, you need to understand. And that video goes into all the specific details. So that guy did a great job with that video. So
yeah, he did. He did a very good job with it.
And I always think it's interesting that my old lines from like 2 years ago are still on here from Tesla, and it's back down in its ranges. So that's fun.
That is interesting. Yes.
That was from an old iron condor from way back.
Oh, wow.
Let's see how we're doing. Yeah, we see we haven't pushed up, didn't break through. This definitely acted as resistance, so that held true. The YM's come back down below. That is helping. Clues. All right, you guys are quiet this morning in both the room and in the Slack channels. Must be something going on in the air today on this Monday. No one's ready to start being talkative yet.
Winter's coming.
Winter is coming. Watch out.
At least on this side of the world.
Crypto's making a little bit of a move up today, and then the dollar's going back down.
It is.
Although it just took a little mini spike, but we don't trade mini spikes, at least not in the dollar index.
No. And in the monthly and the weeklies are still looking really weak. If you look at the monthly chart, the dollar index looks not good.
Yeah,
Still looks like it's going lower.
So the daily's topped out and coming back down.
I have to check myself every once in a while because I do get into that minutia, and I'll go to a 30-minute DXY, and it's like, no.
Right.
Zoom out.
Look at the big picture, exactly.
Yeah, look at that 1 hour doesn't look very, looks like it's going up. Maybe it's got a little bottoming tail there, but if you go to the monthly, you'll see that we are in a very, very strong downtrend. And we'll probably not, I don't know, I mean, I could make a case for a inverse head and shoulders there, maybe. Left shoulder,
Yeah,
right shoulder.
I could see it. One shoulder ahead, another shoulder potentially forming.
Yeah, we'd have to work on it for a while though, because the left shoulder took quite a ways.
And it's got a little wart here on the neck.
Yeah. Got to see a doctor about that one. Have it removed. I haven't heard anybody really talk about the dollar. I mean, I think they're still printing, and I think the whole thing is just like, I don't know what's going on. There's no stimulus bill coming out of Congress. There's still negotiations back and forth. You still have, whatever unemployment rate is official at, 13, 14% at this point. But it seems like everything is on hold. You got businesses on hold. You got people on hold. You got travel on hold. The market just continues to go higher. Just a very weird time.
Eli's asking if you closed your VXX strategy from 10 days ago.
Yes.
Yeah, I think we closed that. At least I closed mine on, was it Friday?
Thursday morning or Friday. Yeah, I think it was.
I remember I sent a message somewhere. I can't keep track of days anymore.
Yeah, I had closed early in the morning, and you kind of held on for a while, and then.
Yeah, it rallied, but there was a little spike in the VXX, and then later in the day it dropped back down. Then I closed it out. So I still have last week's on. Yep, last week's is closed, Eli, but
that was Friday.
The week before is closed. Last week is open. That's where I'm currently sitting.
Yep, me too.
And it's about halfway to the profit target on last week's. Don wants to know how scalable that VXX trade is. 50, 100, 200. Is there a limit to diminishing returns?
I guess it all depends on the size of your account. You still don't want to risk more than 1% on any single trade. So I guess it depends on how many you have open. what your available reduction in buying power would be. And the open interest isn't as much of a concern to me as the spread. So as long as the spread is pretty good, there's always a market maker on the other side that's going to take that trade. The open interest, let me check the open interest on the current. Let's see, we're coming up on Wednesday. Take a quick look at that. Yeah, and open interest isn't huge, but you know what? With the market, market makers will always provide you with a. Now, the one that ends on the weeklies seem to be a lot more popular. So the weekly open interest, especially on the call side, is pretty big. It's pretty nice. Oh no, I'm sorry, I'm on the wrong contract. Hold on.
So this is the next one coming up for Wednesday.
Open interest is, yeah, it's huge actually. I'm not sure if you're looking at the same thing I'm looking at.
Yeah, I got a lot at the 32 right now on the call side.
Yeah, at the 32, you're talking tens of thousands of contracts. I'm not sure what you're looking at, but the VXX is extremely liquid. Yeah, very, very liquid. Lots of open interest on those.
Interesting volume down at the 40s.
I think the one that you're looking at maybe is the October 9th expiration one. It does seem to have less open interest, but that's not really, that big of a deal because there's plenty of market makers who will take the other side of that. So if you want to get out, you can get out. Even
at last week's. Gotcha. Look at 858 days out.
Yeah, there's not much open interest on those. Nobody's betting that far out.
So at the end of the day, Don, it comes down to your risk, your buying power, your account size, and what makes sense for you. As Dave mentioned, 1%, always a rule of thumb on any given trade, and then risk appetite. And if you do have larger funds, yeah, you can scale it to, 100 contracts on the selling side. Just depends on your situation.
Yeah, and Dan knows how many contracts I'm doing, but I mean, I've never had an issue getting out at whenever I want at the price I want.
We were profitable, Don. I closed that trade for about a $400 profit last week.
Yep. And if you're doing a 20-11-11, that's pretty standard. Even a 10-6-6, you can get a couple $100 out of it.
Yep, that one was a 20-11-11. I think it was like 434. I think was the end goal or the end profit.
Yeah, and that's pretty average. It's pretty average on, and it was a fairly, I mean, it was about the right time.
Yep, that's correct, Don. It did come down about 400, but then, as we know, as the VXX breaks down, and the reversion to the mean, it did exactly that. And yep, we closed it for about 400. You're dead on.
Yep. And just remember that we always look at the market timer spreadsheet to kind of get an idea of what the volatility levels are going to be. When we saw MT vol go up to that 100% level, that there's going to be plenty of volatility, but there was no bearish herding that really was well formed. So it wasn't anything too serious at that point.
Nothing major on the calendars for Monday and Tuesdays, so we won't see anything for that till Wednesday when we have some other numbers coming out with oil.
We got FOMC on Wednesday. What else we got on Wednesday? That's not this.
I'll take a look here. Calendar's got, FOMC, 1 o'clock Central Time, so 2 o'clock Eastern.
Yeah, watch for that. And we have both futures and options expiring on Friday.
Todd says he's going to be the kitten in the tree meme, just hanging in there from now on.
Yeah, you got to think about reversion to the mean, and that's about the only instrument that you can say that about, because you can't say that about any other stock. There's no reversion to the mean for a stock like Apple. There's no reversion to the mean for Google. But when you're talking about volatility, yeah, you got to revert.
Which is why the volatility arbitrage that works. It gets too far, it gets stretched, and it comes back. I'm going to be updating that spreadsheet. I was thinking about it again this morning, so I got to remember to get that back up to date.
Yeah, we should take a look at that. Boy, look at that.
It's just weird, both of it.
It is.
Look at the normal days. We're only at 225. It's like we're under a microscope for issues in volume.
Yeah, and we're at 400 on the YM futures.
Yeah, 2% on the ES, 2.5% almost on the MQ. They probably did hit the 2.5% up here. 2% on Russell.
It's very odd.
They are coming back together. That's a little interesting. So might have some meat on the bone, but this is different. I'll have to look back and see if it's any relation to expiration week. Brad can't remember seeing that before.
Yeah, it's just it is strange. I mean, 225 on the advanced declines. It's like, oh, man. Yeah, there's no volatility in there at all. Like all of a sudden, the volatility was just sucked right out of the market.
Yep. All right, gents, we're getting close to the top. Any final questions you got, let us know. I know there is a few emails for those out there that sent in a few questions. We got some work to catch up on from the weekend, so we'll be getting back to you as soon as we can. Get some people helping me with emails, so it's nice. Just got to keep them busy. You guys have lots of questions, so we're happy to help. Sometimes it does take a few minutes to respond. Tom, you're awfully quiet. I don't know if I think we have an imposter, Tom.
No, he's at work. He's listening to us in the background. So.
He did say good morning and happy Monday, so we know he's alive.
Yes, that's good. That is very good. But we're up 436. I mean, you can't, and low volatility. When I looked at the YM futures this morning, I mean, they just kind of continued to like just move in a real tight, narrow range at the open. They just took off.
Yeah. They were just stagnant overnight after making a little move, and then boom.
And there was really no news. I think there was something about Gilead Science, maybe, with a vaccine.
I did see that they're looking at making a big acquisition of another company.
Yeah, that's about it, though.
Yeah,
so quiet.
Yeah, if this does continue to go and this breaks above, there's a lot of room to go up to this next level here up at 28.3. Could be a crazy day. If we get another 800 point up, that's, even though it is to the upside, we know that could be too far up.
Yeah, yeah. Have you got a long-term chart of the Dow there? If you got a couple minutes, we'll just take a look at that real quick.
I can pull over the index and move over. We'll switch it to a daily here, weekly.
Don says more gamma scalping info coming. I went back and watched them again in smaller account. I like see doing it. Yeah, maybe. I don't know. We'll see if there's enough demand. I might just, I don't know. We'll see. I'm still kind of in that testing phase of it. I just want to make sure that one of the things that is, after we saw some of the volatility getting sucked out, we've got VXX down 30 cents today, but it's still, in my opinion, I think the VIX and the VXX are still at kind of elevated levels for some reason. So they're still pricing in the decline. We'll see. But it is interesting stuff, because what you can do is you can basically protect your position with the underlying, the VXX. All right, so I will definitely let you know. Curtis says, hey guys, it's nice to get back in here. Retired, also farms on the side. Finally finished with harvest. Oh, good. Can get back on track again. Awesome.
Early harvest. Good job, Curtis.
Yeah, good to see you, Curtis. Glad you could join us.
So I got about 7-8 years. Is that long enough for you?
Yeah, that's good. We're in a huge pattern, just like we did, like we had back in 2015 there. broadening top. The question is, we've touched 1, 2, almost 3 to the downside on that lower trend line, and we've got 2 points that we touched on the upper one, and that is typically all you need for a broadening top formation. And so now we're in that upper 3/4% mark up there, and I think, boy, I don't know, that this one is bigger than the other one. Look at the one from 2015; looks tiny compared to this one.
Yeah, for sure. Look at this.
And that resulted in like a 3x. It went from 19,000 at the breakout, it looks like,
Yep.
to what? Almost 30, 25, 26. Okay. So that is a 7,000 point after the 19, which is what, about oh man.
7 and 19, that's 35% move? 40?
Yeah, it's like a 35%. Yes, 35% is right. So if we get a 35% over the breakout, let's see where the breakout point is where we are now. The breakout point wouldn't be up until 30.
Yep. And then that would go to 40 for another 10%.
Hey, my 40,000 call.
There you go.
Yeah, we break out, we're going to 40,000, guys.
Which could coincide with the first week in November-ish.
Oh, I don't know if we're going to do it by then, but wow.
You never know.
It'd be nice for my wife's 401k for sure, but I'm not sure.
Could be similar to 2016, 2017 when that Christmas turnaround happened, and that's when it took off.
Yeah. All right, good. Glad. So that's a nice long-term update. We may hang around here for a while, just like it did back in 2015. It looks like it hugged that upper trend line for quite a while, but if we hit that upper trend line, we're over 30,000.
Yep, definitely. We're at 28 right now.
Yeah, it's not. It wouldn't be hard to get to 30,000. That's for sure. And we break out to new highs. Boy, the headlines are going to be all over the place.
Right. All right, guys. Appreciate you joining us. Dave, I always appreciate your time, and we'll keep an eye on this, and then we'll look forward to Tuesday tomorrow.
Yeah, my pleasure. Look forward to seeing you guys tomorrow. Have a good day, Dan.
Thanks, everyone. You're welcome, Don.